Actually, I want to start from background. The right-wing Hindu forces, including RSS, that is called Rashtriya Son RSS, and Bharatiya Janata Party, had a long-standing desire of complete integration of Indian illegal occupied Jammu and Kashmir with the Indian Union and revival of the Hindu civilization in the territory. Kashmir remained one of their main focus following the formation of Narendra Modi's led fascist government in New Delhi in 2014. However, they found a golden opportunity to give practical shape to their nefarious designs after the BJP won a landslide victory in 2019 in Indian general election. They intensified their efforts to implement their Hindutva agenda in the territory and as a first step made the announcement of repealing the special status of occupied Kashmir on August 5, 2019. As such, this date became a turning point in the history of Indian occupied Jammu Kashmir. It has a similarity with, say, the Palestinian problem which we had with the Israel. Slowly now what is happening is they are trying to bring Hindus in their territory and to make the Muslims as a minority. So I just want to say something more about it. They have some articles in their constitution. They revoke those articles. On that I will say, I will give you a detail about that. That the move came by a presidential order which revoked Article 370 and Article 35A of the Indian Constitution. Article 370 had accorded special autonomous status to Jammu and Kashmir and all the provisions of the Indian Constitution which were applicable to the Indian states did not apply to the territory. Due to this article, Jammu and Kashmir was a region which, despite being a part of Indian Union under the so-called instrument of accession, enjoyed separate constitution, flag and official language. Say that it has a different status than the other normal states of the Indian territory, Indian country, Indian nation. It was only because of this article except for defense, foreign affairs, finance and communication, Indian Parliament need the concurrence of the so-called government of Jammu and Kashmir. Though most of the special privilege that the passage of time though most of the special privileges that Jammu and Kashmir was entitled to under the Article 370 had long been eroded with the passage of time, yet Article 35A debarred non-Kashmiris from acquiring property and jobs in government institution in the territory. Through the so-called Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act 2019, the Indian government also divided the occupied territory into two union territories, Jammu and Kashmir with a legislature and Ladakh without a legislature. The Modi-led right-wing Indian government created an environment of fear and terror in occupied Jammu and Kashmir by adopting a multi-pronged military approach to quell the Kashmiris' resistance to its unilateral and illegal action of 5th August 2019. It imposed curfew in the main cities of town of Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir and suspended all internet, cellulars as well as the landline phones and television services. Indian forces personnel were deployed in every nook and corner of the occupied territory, which the army and air force were also put on high alert. Fear and anxiety had already gripped occupied Kashmir as India had deployed 38,000 additional troops few days before enacting the illegal move. It has also cancelled a major Hindu pilgrimage Amarnath Yatra, ordered closure of schools and colleges and asked tourists to leave the territory. The authorities also imposed strict restriction on the media. Local newspapers even failed to update their online editions. Majority of the newspaper also could not be printed for months due to curfew and other restrictions. No report of the territory could reach the news outlets in India and the world. The Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir virtually remained cut off from the rest of the world. The abrogation of the special status of Kashmir was accompanied by arrest of around 19,000 innocent Kashmiris, including Hurriyat leaders, political activists, lawyers, human rights defenders, and leaders of religious, trade, and social organizations. During this military crackdown, over 8 million Kashmiris were locked down in their homes. The continued military siege for months created a humanitarian crisis as people faced acute shortage of essential commodities and life-saving drugs. At the same time, Indian troops under the cover of draconian laws like Armed Forces Special Power Act, Public Safety Act, and Unlawful Activities Prevention Act intensified violent operation, and since 5th August 2019 till June 30th this year, the occupational troops have martyred 660 The troops have damaged over 1,092 houses. The Article 370 and 35A provided important legal protection that restricted non-Kashmiris from getting jobs, purchasing land, and permanently settling in Jammu Kashmir. Excuse me. The whole purpose behind the application of Article 370 and 35A was to remove this barrier and thus convert occupied Jammu and Kashmir's Muslim majority into a minority by legalizing the settlement of non-Kashmiri Hindus there. This will allow massive demographic changes and thus diluting the Muslim majority character of occupied Jammu and Kashmir. This indeed can affect the results in India's favor if New Delhi is compelled to hold a plebiscite in Jammu and Kashmir at any point of time in future. It also aims at damaging the essence of the UN resolutions under which Jammu and Kashmir is a disputed territory and its fate is to be decided by the Kashmiri people through the exercise of their right of self-determination.